Let's start with a slightly facetious question. Have you admitted to anybody that you haven't watched the original Fargo? Oh, you have?
I have.
That's interesting.
I have. I haven't rewatched it in the run-up to this, so I didn't rewatch it when I was cast in this. I was saving it for when I've done it, and then I'll be able to enjoy it again and watch it and not think about what I was doing or what anybody else was doing. Yeah, I'll be able to watch it as a fan again.
And you think the Coen brothers go far?
Yeah, they'll go very far.
Yeah,
they stick with what they're doing. They're onto something.
Well, we both, as I said, very, very much enjoyed the pilot episode of the show. What was your? Well, first of all, I wondered because you shot it in Canada, in Calgary.
Yeah.
Did you actually go out to Coen country, out to sort of Minnesota, as a part of the sort of process? Or
no, I didn't. No, it was a pretty quick turnaround, really, for me between Sherlock and this. So ideally. What I ideally would have done if the time was spend a couple of weeks there and just just go to bars and hang out a bit, in restaurants and go and meet people.
I'm really intrigued by this concept of Minnesota Nice, which gets mentioned a lot. Is that an actual formal?
I guess. I mean, not that I've heard of it secondhand, through people. So I don't want to be doing the people of Minnesota a disservice. But yeah, as I understand, that is a thing, an understood sort of cultural thing of. We would understand it as just, kind of appearances, keeping up appearances, being polite, being nice professionally.
But now my head is thinking of keeping up appearances being the UK version of Fargo.
Exactly, yeah. Needn't have bothered making this. We could have just watched Hyacinth Bouquet.
This means that Hyacinth probably dies.
Yeah.
The accent is the thing for me, where I think, imagine a world where someone doesn't know you from Sherlock or The Hobbit. Just imagine a world.
No, that this world exists.
I reckon people would listen to your accent and go, "You're from there."
Well, I mean, luckily I know that they did, because those people do exist. People who don't know my work. So the nice thing for me was that the surprise I got from some members of the crew when I eventually sort of said goodnight or hello in this voice, and they would look at me like, "Why are you talking like that?" And I was asked if I was American. I was asked for where I was from and stuff like that. So. That's all I wanted. I just wanted it to be invisible and just to pass. I just wanted to pass as a Minnesotan. That would be good for me, I didn't want to kind of take the mick out of the accent or lay it on thick or make a feature of it. I just wanted to get by with it, and that's a lot harder than it appears,
Are there any trigger words you use to get into that voice?
Yeah, I mean there aren't. There not that I'm going to do any of the phrases. I'm not going to do the accent now. But because I haven't done it for a while, and it might not be so good. But yeah, there would be a few things. They say a lot. You betcha. RGs. I mean, RGs is a real thing. Some people do say cheese and rice. As an exclamation. You know what I mean? To keep it in that sort of Ned Flanders-y sort of way, as to not blaspheme.
Yeah, you don't want to walk into Springfield halfway through.
Yeah, there is an actor in this who does remind me slightly of Ned Flanders in his character. But yes, it's a very proper. It's a nice. I wouldn't say the whole world of it is nice, obviously, because I'm sure terrible things happen there and there are terrible people. But the general characteristic is one of politeness and one of decency. People are kind of good, solid, decent people. Yeah.
Speaking of good, solid, decent people, Billy Bob Thornton is in this, and I have to ask a question off the back of something Terry Gilliam told us in an interview recently. He's scared of old things, that's right, he's scared of antiques.
Oh, really?
How did you experience that? Did he talk to you about that at all?
I didn't. No.
Next time you see him, ask him about his pathological fear of antiquities.
Really?
Yes, this is a true thing.
Okay.
This is why Terry Gilliam wasn't able to cast him in his most recent movie.
I didn't know that. I mean, Billy and I talked about our various forms of madness, that we shared, and some of them cross over with each other, and our various psychoses. But no, I didn't know that it was antiquities was one. Well, it's a good job. Fine, because he never has to actually be in the olden days, does he?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Thank God.
Never actually has to use an oil lamp.
Okay. God, that would really get him.
On the Antiques Roadshow, it'd be like Saw for him.
I don't want to give away too much, but at the end of the first episode, you do a pretty nifty, to hopefully use a Minnesotan word, run into a wall. Yeah. That's your own work. I'm guessing you didn't have a stunt man who does your wall running.
There's. I'll leave that to you, because I don't want to talk myself out of some plaudits, but at the same time I don't want to talk my stuntman that I may or may not have out of some credit. It's always very cleverly done. It's like you shouldn't know what's me and what isn't me.
There's a bit of Donald O'Connor going horribly wrong in Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, I guess. I thought, do you know something? For a second, the other night, something I did reminded myself of Donald O'Connor. I can't remember what it was.
Did you wake up and immediately go into a 3-minute kind of song and dance routine?
That's what I did, with a big brolly. It was that. I think I caught sight of myself in a mirror and thought, Christ, am I Donald O'Connor? But, not that that's a bad. He's a very, very talented... No, he's a very, very talented man.
You're wearing a nice jumper, that's what it was.
Yeah, I was wearing colours.
Yeah. Bright colours, and you were tap dancing near a giant picture
of a pair of lips. That could be me, actually. That could be me.
Huh.
Is there a Martin Freeman musical on the horizon, potentially?
Not on the horizon, but I like them. I like them if they're good.
You're obviously a very passionate music lover.
I adore music more than anything else in the world, as far as art forms go. But and there are some musicals that I really love, and some that I hate. I mean, I think in our world they tend to get a bum rap as all being naff or whatever. It's like, well, not all films are terrible, but some films are terrible. We don't write off straight film as a whole genre, and some musicals are really naff, but some of them are fantastic. I mean, I know people thought I was taking... during Fargo, I can't remember, we were talking about top 10 films or something, and I said to somebody, West Side Story is definitely one of my top 10, but no question, it's one of my favourite cultural things ever, right? It's certainly one of my favourite films. And they were like, yeah, right. I was like, no, genuinely, it kind of goes, The Godfather, Godfather 2. I mean, it's up there. It's one of the happiest 3 hours I can spend, But I think people sort of thought that was very odd because it's a musical, and I don't know, it's a bit unfair sometimes.
Didn't have enough wood chippers in it.
Not enough wood chippers.
Yeah.
Not enough swearing for the young people.
For the youth.
Yeah.
Speaking of swearing, you hold a hallowed rank in my tired, cliched, hoary anecdotes, where I once interviewed you off the back of the first Hobbit film, and I asked you to list as many of the Hobbit's names in one go as you could, and you nailed it. You absolutely rattled it off. You did really, really well. You got one last one was a little bit tricky. I don't know which one it was, but then I pointed out that somebody else did it quicker than you, and you went on an amazing tirade, and you just said, "Oh, well, that's because he's got nothing to do." And then of course you just said. You can't use any of this because I've sworn, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean every word.
Yeah.
Like
who's it? Probably Aidan Turner.
Yeah, I think so.
No, it couldn't have been Aidan Turner. He knows nothing. He knows nothing.
I feel it coming.
Yeah. Sorry, no, I'm not going to swear.
No, by all means.
I'm going to try and turn over a new leaf and just swear less. You see it in print as well. It just looks mad. It looks mad. It looks like I've gone mad.
Yeah.
So I don't want to look like that.
Swear words come across in capitals even if they're not printed that way.
Exactly. Or even when it's asterisks, you just think, well, it's even more mad. It's like saying the N-word. It's like as soon as you can't say the rest of it, then it gives it more power, almost,
Yeah, honestly. But anyway, thank you for that.
Don't worry, I'm not going to say that.
Please. I edit this, so that would be a treat.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, that was fun.
I was wondering, we have Sherlockians. What are we going to call Fargo fans?
Because there's going to be maybe Fargoans.
Or Fargoons.
Fargoons, possibly.
Fargoans.
I think Fargoons sounds a bit derogatory.
Fargoers.
Fargoans. Although that doesn't really mean anything, does it? It's just literally, if you're a Fargoan, that does mean that you're from Fargo. It's just like being, from a Palestinian from Palestine. So Fargoan is a literal thing,
right?
So, but I don't know how we make that clever.
Maybe
cheese
some
and rice.
Cheese and rices. Maybe.
Yeah, cheese and rices. Yeah.
Working with Alison Tolman, I think she's fantastic in the first episode,
she's really
and she's a bit of a new face to you. Had you met her before? And
not at all. No, I hadn't. Like everyone else on Earth, I had never heard of her. Wasn't familiar with her work because there isn't a lot of work to be familiar with. That you can see on screen anyway. I mean, she has a bit of a comedy and improv background, I believe, and sketch background. But no, I mean, the first thing I did, of course, was I looked her up on IMDb and found pretty much nothing. And I thought, wow, this is interesting. I think it's a great tribute to the filmmakers that they went with the person they wanted, as opposed to the person that they sort of thought they should have due to pressure of stardom or whatever. We all want to be cast because we're their favourite people, as opposed to we're hot or we're cool or we're with a flavour of the month or whatever. And Alison absolutely was cast for all the right reasons, only the right reasons, and that's that they thought she was the best person for it. And they saw some very fine actors for that part. They saw some really good people who would have done a stand-up job on it, I'm sure. But the fact that they wanted Alison enough to bypass any names, bypass any sort of that status stuff, and just go for someone who is brilliant as she is, I think it's great for them, and it's fantastic. I was so pleased for her because it was right. It was totally justified. She should have got that part. She's fantastic in it.
She is fantastic, and she's also she's not quite the Frances McDormand character at all, which is what's great about the show. Everything's a little bit off.
Yeah.
And you have any advice for people that are coming at it from a film? Are you getting people coming up to you going, "I love the film. If you mess this up, it's going to be..."
No, I'm sure probably people do think that. Well, I mean, just open your mind a little bit, and you might enjoy it. Is what I would say. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the best written things I know I've ever done.
Do you think so?
Yes, I do. Each episode would come at you and you'd be turning the page and just think, when can I read the next? I'd be badgering Noah Hawley for, when's the next episode coming? Yes, it's definitely one of the best written things I've done, yeah. I hope people who like the film like it. Obviously, I want as many people as possible to like it. I don't think you need to know the film to enjoy this show, but I don't think one precludes the other, because they're not. It's not the same thing. It's different characters. It's different stories. Obviously, there are parallels, but it's not literally the same characters 10 years later or 10 years earlier. It's the same universe, but with different people in it.
Yeah.
The way you describe reading the script reminds me of what people were saying during the last season of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Where they just didn't. They almost didn't want to read the script because they didn't want to finish it.
Right.
And know what was going to happen.
Yes.
Obviously, you've got a little bit of Breaking Bad as part of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So are you up to date?
Oh yeah, I've fully watched that. Yeah.
How did you feel?
Oh, it was brilliant.
After the final episode.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was really, really good. It was a very hard thing to keep topping itself, because it was brilliant pretty much from the get-go. So how do you make a final brilliant thing? I thought they did it wonderfully. Yeah, I loved it.
You weren't not fanboying, but were you sitting down with Bob and saying, "Look, what was it actually like there?"
A bit, actually. I mean, a bit. I certainly told him straight. I thought it was great, and I thought he was great in it. But no, he beat me to the fanboying. He beat, because he's a very generous. Well, he's a huge Office fan. The Office is like his favourite thing ever. He probably says that to all the boys. but no, he adores the Office, and he loves World's End, and he loves Sherlock. So through him and his kids, I think I have a lot of fans in his house. So I was going, wow, there's Bob Odenkirk, but he was going, wow, there's Martin Freeman, and we're very much mutual admirers. Yeah.
Well, I love that.
Yeah, so does my missus. She was jealous. Yeah.
Oh well.
When are you flying back to New Zealand for the fourth part of The Hobbit?
Tomorrow. I'm just going to be there just for another year.
What's it called?
This is called Really? Yeah. It's just called Honestly? No, it's done. I just got to do ADR for it now. Yeah.
Does that take place? That takes place here in
It does.
It
takes place. No, not in Soho. Just outside London. It takes kind of western suburbs. Yeah, out in the country.
What's that experience like? Is it kind of like revisiting an old...
It kind of is, because of course some of it is so long ago that you do forget. You do actually forget what you did.
Who do I play again?
Yeah, well, I've just about remembered that, because I know, right, I'm this little fella. But no, you do get reminded of things that you did a long time ago, because it's not always apparent. It's not always on the tip of your tongue what you did. Because also in the meantime, we've all done 4 jobs since then. So
absolutely.
Whichever is the last thing you've done is the thing that's most in your head. And I can't wait. I love the films. I love that process. I really, really enjoyed making those films. I loved it. I wouldn't have been without that in my life. I'm so glad I did it. I'm so glad that he wanted me to do it. It really gave a lot to my life. Over sort of 2.5 years, I can't imagine what my life would have been without it. It would have been very different. Do you know what I mean? And I wouldn't have made those friends and had those experiences and been on the side of that many buses. Yeah.
Yeah, you do have a worthy collection of posters now.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Do you keep them? Collection?
No,
anyway?
I don't. I flipping should.
You should have a little...
I really should, and I never do. It's rubbish.
Might be a bit weird for any house guests.
Yeah, I know, but even to put them in a drawer, because that could be
exactly.
That's someone's pension, isn't it?
Now, you were mentioning IMDb pages a little earlier. Yours kind of comes up as far as where we're at now, but not much beyond. Do you have any news that you can share, things that you're looking at, having a break?
Not that we go on that. I mean, the next thing I'm doing is a play, which obviously doesn't come up on IMDb. But no, as far as screening... No, there's a film that I've read that I do really like that I might be doing after the play, but I won't talk about that. But it's a very good script, and again, a kind of almost a chamber piece between me and another very good actor. Not that I'm a very good actor. Another actor who is very good, because I'm not allowed to say I'm good, because I'm English. So that's against the law.
That's English nice.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Surrey nice.
You have to Surrey nice. Yeah. You have to be passive-aggressive with your self-aggrandising.
Yeah, you do, yeah. I manage that.
I'm pretty good at it. Better than you.
I'm pretty good at it. You got something to say about it?
Yeah?
Yeah.